So I've been called a religious freak. We'll start with that one. And thank you for sending in your question. One of the time I was called a religious freak is because the person asked me what type of music or movies do I watch. And when I gave them an answer, they basically told me you're a religious freak. They also told me not to talk about Jesus to them ever again. And that was a family member. Another example was at the library. This particular story time, the librarian gave all the kids little wands and they were saying like spells in the name of play and fun, but we don't participate in any form of wizardry or witchcraft. I asked the librarian, next time, could you give us a heads up of your story times? And she called my kids scary. I said, it's not that my kids are scary. We just don't participate in witchcraft or wizardry, or any form of it, even if it's just fun and games. Another example is, and I'll get to how it made me feel in all these situations, but another example is, I remember we was at someone's house and there was a video of an intimate scene, and there was a lot of profanity. And I remember there's been many times my husband and I have had to ask the person like, hey, do you mind changing the channel? And thankfully in those situations, everyone has been like, oh yeah, I think a lot of people are just desensitized to it. But I'm like, can you change the channel? And in all of those situations, I would say the religious freak one probably just made me feel maybe misunderstood, like why they don't understand. But then at the same time, I'm like, I understand why they don't understand. We're in a time where the Bible, literally, there's a scripture that says that people will call good evil and evil good. That's definitely the times that we're living in. And so at the same time, I get why people don't get it. You know what I mean? So thank you, Anoint, for sending in those questions. And how did it make me feel? Again, made me feel misunderstood, but at the same time, I'm okay with that because it shows me how to pray. But that's my response. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Thank you for sending in your question.